afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Ingram Jones and welcome to Bayloric Worldwide Television. We have an exclusive, a special, live, all the way from South Africa with Uncle James Ali Bashir. Uncle, how are you?
I'm fine. Everything's going well.
Good. It's good to see you. Good to see you in South Africa, in HD. How are you?
What did you say?
I said it's good to see you in HD. High definition.
Oh, I'm a dinosaur, so you gotta be a little more technical with me.
Basically, I'm seeing you a lot clearer than I usually would see you, which is good.
Right.
I see you're joined by two gentlemen, two fierce-looking gentlemen. Who are these two fierce-looking gentlemen?
Introduce yourself.
I'm Ron Visser, the Giant King from South Africa.
Okay.
I'm 26 years old.
Okay.
I'm Sean Winters from South Africa. I'm the trainer that helped Bashir with the training for
Okay, I've heard a lot about the Giant King. Uncle Bashir was telling us before that there was a very talented heavyweight in South Africa, that there were talks between yourself and Uncle Bashir that potentially you two would work together. Tell us a little bit about you, Giant King. Tell us a bit background about you, how tall you are, how much you weigh, how you got into boxing.
I'm 6'9".
Ooh.
About 280 pounds. I've got 9 professional fights, and I met Bashir on the Klitschko training camp when I was sparring partner for Klitschko, and that's how our relationship started. And now Bashir is here in South Africa and he's helping me with training, and I'm looking forward to the future working with Bashir.
So the training camp, who else was in that training camp with you at the time when you were at Klitschko's camp?
Richard Towers, he was there. Let's look into the names. Maybe Bashir can help you with some of the guys that was helping me with sparring.
Hey, you know, it's hard to remember all of those names. Richard Towers stands out the most, though, you know?
Okay.
But there were about 6 or 7. There were 6 or 7 guys. Guys were coming and going, so it's hard to keep up with names.
Okay. So I was trying to gauge what time you were sparring with Klitschko. Was that for the Fury fight, the first Fury fight?
Yes.
So then we can kind of say, well, this was a sparring session you had relatively recently, you know. So you were a sparring partner that was around the time that Klitschko was prepared for Tyson Fury. So, in your eyes, as even a 9-fight in relative terms to Klitschko being a 9-fight novice, what was it like sharing the ring with Vladimir Klitschko? What was that experience like?
It was a great experience, but Klitschko is very professional. He's being in the ring with that guy was amazing, and you can see why he was world champion for 10 years. The guy is phenomenal, and he's a boxing artist, and every time I climb in the ring with him, I can see the experience that he's teaching me, and he's a real professional.
What did you take away from that training camp?
To take myself to the next level, be professional. Your whole life must be professional. You must be professional at your house, the way you're eating, the way you gym, in the ring. Everything that you do, you must be professional. You can't lack anywhere. You have to be professional. Everything must be professional. From the morning you wake up till you go to sleep. Everything must be professional. Okay,
so let's talk about talk to the trainer. Tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into boxing, and then how the dynamics are between yourself and Uncle Bashir and the Giant King.
Yeah, I was a boxer myself as an amateur. I went to the Olympics '96. I fought here at Atlanta. So I only met Mr. Bashir now with Ron, the Giant King. And our relationship only started now between me and Mr. Bashir.
So did you know anything about Uncle Bashir before, obviously, the Giant King went to training camp with him?
Yeah, you know, he's the trainer of Klitschko, and you heard of him, but you never thought it's going to be coming to the stage where we're going to work together.
Ah, okay. So, back to you, Giant King. Alexander Usyk sought out the services of Uncle Bashir very early in his professional career. He said, this is the guy I want. And since then, he's taken him from his pro career right through to world champion and being one of the recognised as one of the best in the world and his division. Why did you decide to go and look for Uncle Bashir to then have him for you as a trainer? What was the decision? What was the thinking behind that with so many names around the world?
I personally think Bashir is the world's best boxing coach. His experience, I mean, from the late 60s, he's been part of boxing. He's worked in Muhammad Ali's camp. He's worked with a lot of champions, Lennox Lewis, Shannon Briggs, a lot of champions. I can't even remember all the champions. So many stories like that. He's just a great trainer, and to be able to work with him I think he's going to take it to the next level. I just have to bring my part and do everything exactly what he says. But I'm ready. I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to give 150% to be a better boxer.
So how is it going to work with you now, with Uncle Bashir? Are you going to relocate to America? Is Uncle Bashir going to be flying into South Africa to train you? What are you going to do to take you to that next level?
Do what I have to do. You know, I'll come here to South Africa. We'll meet in the States, depending upon where the location of the fight is. You know, if the fight's here in South Africa, which I assume will be probably his next 7 or 8 fights, will probably be here in South Africa, because Ron doesn't have any amateur experience. He's 6-1 as a professional, right. And I think that's what gets me up the most, because I'm the kind of guy that comes in and builds a fighter from the very beginning. You understand? I don't come in and try to shine with the fighter after he's learned his craft. I come in to aid him in building that craft.
Well, that's fantastic. So you had no amateur experience. Why did you jump from having no amateur experience to jumping straight into the pros?
There's not a lot of amateurs in South Africa. The amateur experience in South Africa is there's no amateur fights. So I started my pro career in America. I went to Texas, I had 5 fights there, and came back to South Africa to have 4 fights here. I'm 9-1 now. So, but sometimes good amateur background is very good for you, and sometimes it's not good for you. But so I can't look back now. I don't have amateurs, and now I have to look to the future and make the best of it.
Corey Sanders is the first guy that comes to my mind when we talk about South African boxing. Pierre Coetzee, they're 2 fighters there already. That's in my mind, South African boxing. What do those guys mean to you? We saw what Corey Sanders did to Vladimir Klitschko and the great fight he had against Vitaly Klitschko. How much confidence does that give you going forward with your own career?
It just shows you it's possible for a guy in South Africa to be able to fight in the world stage, and it just gives you confidence that previous guys have made it. So it's not impossible for me to do that. And with Bashir and Shuan, I really think I can do it.
Okay, Uncle, it's a long way to travel from the USA to South Africa. Although there's a 2-hour time difference between us and in the UK, what is it that inspired you to work with the Giant King?
Character. Character is an important thing when you're trying to build any athlete, and especially a boxer. The character is what impressed upon me that I wanted to associate myself and my reputation with this young man. You know, I mean, at this time, I don't want to waste time. I want to invest my time in something, in somebody where I know that's going to give this every effort to achieve something in the sport of boxing.
And as a trainer, and being the Giant King's trainer, how does that kind of work for you with Bashir, Uncle Bashir coming in? How does that work, those dynamics work for you?
And for me, it is experience getting from a world-class trainer. And to work with Bashir, it just teaches you the way to go forward. Where we lack in South Africa, against the USA or UK or wherever, the experience that he brings, just learning, it's a learning curve. And for me, it's a wonderful way to go forward.
Now, there are situations that have happened previously where trainers who've lacked the education or lacked the experience have their egos have got in the way of their learning. What is it about you that makes it possible for you to be able to learn on the trainers, learn as you go along training, and not allow your ego to be the forefront of this dynamic, which seems a very good dynamic between the three of you?
It's very easy. It's not going about a trainer. It's going about a boxer. I'm just here to learn and to assist him wherever I can with my experience as an Olympian. But Mr. Bashir came in and do so much more for it. So if I bring my ego into it, it means I must step out as a trainer, because it is about the Giant King, not about Schoenbutter.
So that's very interesting, because trainers today, promoters and managers seem to be more important than the fighters themselves. Why have you taken this approach, and where has this approach come from? Which is actually more rare in boxing today.
Yeah, friendship. That's where it came from. It came from friendship. We are friends. Although we met in the boxing world, I got respect for him, he's got respect for me, and that's the way to go forward. If I don't respect him and he don't respect me, I won't work with him. The easy way to go forward is we respect each other, and I know he is a world champion, even the way he is, though he don't have the belt yet. I know he can be the world champion easily. That's why we work together.
Fantastic. So, Uncle Bashir, working with the Giant King, what is it about the Giant King that you've seen that has, I know you talked about character, but what is it about him you've seen technically that you think you can work with to take him to the very top? There must be something you've seen to travel all the way to South Africa.
Desire and ability. You know, he learns. He's eager to learn, and he learns quickly. So those two things alone attracted me from the very beginning. From the very, maybe first, second, third day in Klitschko's camp, you know, I was attracted to that quality.
It's interesting.
And that's the anchor. That's the anchor in my interest. There's much more surrounding that point, but the anchor to that point is that he was eager to learn, and he learns quickly.
So, okay, have you guys worked together since Uncle Bashir's been in South Africa? Because I don't know how long Uncle Bashir's been in South Africa. Giant King and the trainer. Have you worked with Bashir since?
Yes.
You have worked?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
Bashir arrived on Tuesday morning.
Okay.
And we've had about 3 good sessions together so far.
And how have you found those sessions? What have you... I know there are 3 sessions, but what has it been like working with Uncle Bashir from a technical point of view, from a putting the work in point of view? What's it been like working with him?
It's been 3 days, but it feels like I think so many stuff we've learned in 3 days, and I can already see the improvement in my defense, the way my jab is. I think I can't wait for an end result, even just in 1 month. I think I'm going to be a total different fighter.
So if somebody was going to describe the Giant King as a fighter, what's your style like? Are you a seek and destroy? Are you a counter puncher? What are you? What would you describe yourself as?
I think I'm quite a hard puncher, and definitely always try and go for a knockout. But like what she said, it's not always about the hard shots. It's about being a good boxer and good defense. Be all around. So that's the way forward. Not always just try to knock the guy out. The guy's going to get knocked out after a few rounds if you're busy and you have good punches and you make him tired with good boxing moves. So I think that's the way forward.
So for you, give me 3 fighters that you admire in boxing today or in the past.
Lennox Lewis, definitely. Evander Holyfield. And a fighter that I didn't really know before Bashir is, what's that guy's name? Maurice Harris. Man, that guy had a great boxing style, and he's a very clever boxer. And I've watched a few of his fights now, and that guy should have been a world champion. I think it's just a few stuff that bothered him outside of the ring, but definitely one of the greatest boxers that I've seen.
How much do you study the world of boxing? Are you one that spends time on YouTube, or do you spend time watching the heavyweight division, the landscape, or do you just focus on the Giant King?
No, definitely watching as much videos as I can on YouTube. YouTube makes it easy. So watch as much videos as I can. And definitely looking at the top 10, top 20 heavyweights in the world. Looking even like David Price with his last fight. Always trying to see what mistakes did he make. Why did he get knocked out? What is going on? Maybe something outside of the ring, or was it inside the ring? And so I'm trying to learn from every weight, and the mistakes and the good stuff.
As a trainer yourself, what are your thoughts on the heavyweight division, the top 10, and how far do you think your boy can go?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm going to start with the last question. I'm sure he can go easy to be a champion. So to get at the top 10, I don't think it's going to take long. Yes, the heavyweight is tough, the heavyweight is good. But what I don't forget to tell you guys, he's a great counter puncher. He's not just a guy to get into the ring. He can think box, he can fight box, he can counter if you want. He's a good all-rounder. And so I think he can, the guys in the heavyweight division better know who is Ron Visser, the Giant King.
In terms of, have you got any footage of you out there on YouTube, or is it all going to be hush-hush?
There's not really a lot of footage on YouTube at the moment, but I think in the next year you'll definitely see more of me on YouTube.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Let's talk about a couple of fights. First one, I'm going to talk about the names there on the chest. Vladimir Klitschko, his fight against Anthony Joshua. What are your thoughts on that fight? Let's talk with you first, Giant King.
I think the first 5 rounds is going to be very important for both fighters. I think Anthony Joshua I think he's going to have to knock Klitschko out in the first 5 rounds. Because after 5 rounds, I think it's going to be Klitschko's fight. Klitschko's too experienced, he's fast, and we've seen Klitschko can go easily 12 rounds. 12 rounds is nothing for Klitschko, for his fitness-wise. So I think Anthony Joshua has to come out, and I think he's just going to try and have to knock out Klitschko in the first 3-4 rounds with his power. But personally, I think Klitschko is too experienced. I think he's going to work very hard this camp. I think he's going to work hard on his defense, and I think he's going to keep Anthony Joshua away. And I think maybe Klitschko is going to knock Anthony Joshua out in the 8th round.
Wow. What about you, trainer? What are your thoughts?
Klitschko won't take the fight if it is not carefully looked after. So he took the mirror right around and looked from the back, from the sides, from the front, before he will get it into the ring. So he's 100% sure he knows what is coming for him. He's always on top of everything that he's doing. He think it over twice or 3 or 4 times before he says, yes, the fight is definitely the fight's on.
Wow. In terms of Klitschko, do you buy into the stories at the moment, or what the press is trying to say? Klitschko is shot and he's an old man. Do you believe that, or do you believe that the rest has done him good?
You're just as old as you want to be. So if you think you're old, and then you're old, he's got experience, he's got the power, he's got everything. So I don't see him as an old man. Okay. He will put a lot of the guys down on the ground easy.
That's very true. Giant King, your thoughts?
Klitschko, do I see him as an old man? not at all. I think he's in much better shape than most heavyweights. He's maybe 21, 22 years old. He's in great shape. He's mentally. I think he's still a young guy. He's not a normal 41 years old guy. So I personally think he's mentally and physically still maybe a 30-year-old guy.
Uncle Bashir, we're not ignoring you because we're going to ask you some questions in a minute, but not about the division, more about something that happened last night. Hughie Fury, have you seen him fight before? Giant King?
Excuse me?
Have you seen Hughie Fury fight before?
Yes.
He's going to be fighting against Joseph Parker in New Zealand. What are your thoughts on that fight?
Joseph Parker is a good fighter. His last fight, I wasn't too impressed with his last fight. But yeah, I think I'll give it to Joseph Parker. I think he's got a better jab. I think he's a much faster boxer, faster on his feet. But I still think he has to go back to the drawing board and look at all his mistakes in his last fight. And I think his trainer has to really work harder to improve himself. But I'll give it to Joseph Parker because actually about 6 months ago, I was in New Zealand sparring Junior Far, and we had a big talk about Joseph Parker. And what I've heard, I think Joseph Parker can win this fight.
Okay. Yourself, trainer?
Yeah, we are definitely Joseph Parker fans, yeah. So, yes, Joseph Parker, I think, will take it.
You really think so?
I don't think it will go the full rounds. I think Joseph Parker around between 6 and 9 rounds, he will put him down.
Wow. Okay. And what were your thoughts about the former champion, Tyson Fury?
No, Tyson Fury is, I don't know say that he's a clown. He's a good boxer, we mustn't take it away. But I personally think the way he put everything on was not the way a boxer should do it.
Okay.
So I think Tyson Fury, I don't think a lot about it.
Gotta change angles for a minute, got charged.
Okay,
Change.
no problems.
1 minute, 1 minute.
We're live, that's good. I like it being live. People know it's live.
Okay, 1 minute. Change. 1 minute.
Okay, well, while you change the angle, we'll change the topic, because this will be a very good topic to talk about.
I get in.
1 minute.
Ja, 1 minute.
Okay.
Is it charging?
I think so. Is the power on?
Yeah. It must be charging.
Okay, that's it. Okay. Now, come on. It's right here. Okay. There we go. I think we're back in, right?
Yep.
Okay, we're back in the saddle. Swing. Good stuff. You good?
I'm good. Great angle. Kind of looking down at me like 3 gods looking down on me from heaven to earth. Kind of funny, the angle, but it's all good. So we're back. We're going to talk now about, and this is an interesting topic, David Price. You all must have seen what happened last night with David Price, I assume.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to laugh at the fellow, but you know, it is what it is. We saw that. What's your point?
Hold on.
that?
It was good. We'll start. We'll start again. Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, we'll start again. So we're back. The subject we're going to talk about now is David Price. I assume all three of you watched David Price's performance last night. Uncle Bashir, we'll start with you. As an experienced trainer, I got into a bit of a, let's say, a heated discussion with a gentleman last night. And I said I blame the trainer for specifically the weight that Price came in, the tactics Price used, the opponent Price decided to fight, and just the whole way Price went about the fight. And if he had a world-class experienced trainer in his corner, things would have been a lot different. Uncle Bashir, you're right to reply.
I was pointing out that observation to Swin and Giant King prior to us speaking to you. We had no idea we were going to speak to you so soon. But I was pointing that out to them that David Price has not really learned anything since being KO'd twice by a guy that was in a wheelchair and 1 foot in the nursing home and knocked him out twice. Then he got knocked out a third time, and now it's the fourth time. And so here's a guy that has not given his own career any observation, any critical learning curves where he could prevent being KO'd. So yeah, I think that you would have to now look at the trainers of what's going on in that training camp, because he's continuously doing the wrong things in the ring. And those things I will not point out because I'm not here to train trainers. As I've said 1,000 times, I'm not here on your program to train trainers. I have made observations of what he's doing wrong. Some very, very critical things that he does wrong in the ring, and he hasn't learned. He hasn't learned from being knocked out.
I was astonished that he went into this fight against Hamer 19 stone. At 17 stone, 5 pounds he was, or something around that, he was blowing gas against Tony Thompson. So somehow, at 19 stone, or 20 stone he was, weighing in the night before, so he would have eaten in between then and fight time, so he'd have been 21, 22 stone coming into that fight. How he may have been bigger, he may have been stronger, but he would have been slower. He would have tired quicker. He had no jab. He had no inside game. He allowed Hamer to walk him back to the ropes. It was all the same old things he was doing previously. Where was this ramrod jab? The same thing we were criticising him about against Tony Thompson, against Tepper. We saw it all over again. Laying all over the ropes. Shouldn't these things be addressed in sparring? I mean, in sparring, he would have to work with fighters who would put pressure on him all the time and gradually build himself up into a title fight. What was he doing fighting Christian Hammer?
I pointed out to Giant King, you have to push yourself to the limit in the training camp so that when a crisis confronts you in the actual fight, you can tap into the concept that I'm used to this. I do this every day in the camp, so I've been here before. But you cannot wait until you're in the locker room to start training for a fight. I despise that. In the locker room, there's no time to train for. There's no time to say, watch out for the left hook. Or don't remember to keep your right hand up. Remember the jab after you hook, or hook after you jab. That's no place to discuss that. It's time to fight. And time to fight means that I've been prepared throughout my training tenure, and I'm prepared to do the job in the fight. But the Price doesn't learn the lesson. He's constantly doing things that put himself
in danger,
in harm's way. Little things, little techniques that he's not using in the ring puts himself in harm's way.
Does it make sense that he got rid of Tommy Brooks, but he kept Fanny Smith, Dave Colwell, and Lennox Lewis on? Why? Lennox had never fought a southpaw in his career for the Tony Thompson rematch. Fanny Smith was an amateur trainer, and Dave Colwell had done nothing to be replaced by Tommy Brooks, who trained a room full of champions.
That seems to be the order of the day, where boxers chose their aunts, their uncles, their friends, and so-called trainers. But you can see with the eye, that these people are no more trainers than a young girl playing hopscotch in the streets. You know, they don't have what it takes to be a trainer. Everybody can't be a trainer. Everybody can't train everybody.
That's true.
Everybody is not passionate, or that they're not in depth. Nobody embraces the sport. I was speaking to John King, and John King told me that he had never studied videos before, and that he had never been instructed to study videos before.
I feel sideways at Giant King.
Well, but he's not alone.
Ah, okay.
Practically every boxer I have spoken to over the years, every boxer that I've worked with, I've done the same thing. I've always pointed to videotapes of old fighters. I look at fights from 1975 back, because you saw more technique, you saw more desire, you saw more faith and belief in what they were doing. They didn't just come in and say, this person taught me that. They studied their craft. So I believe in watching the old films for different techniques that will allow you to live amongst sharks. You understand? You go out there now and you don't know what you're doing, you're knocked out. Little things, baby.
Let me turn it over to Trainer now. Trainer, your thoughts on... let me get your first name, because I keep calling you Trainer. What's your first name?
Swin.
Twin.
Swin. S-W-N.
Swin. Let me get the Swin. So Swin. Swin. Did I get it right?
Like soon. Coming soon?
Coming soon. 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 Okay, soon. Right, soon. Let me ask you this. From your perspective as a trainer, as a heavyweight trainer, what were your thoughts on David Price's approach to Christian Hammer last night? Or Hamer last night?
Last night I didn't see the fight because we were at the fight here in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
So we did not see the fight, so I really can't...
I saw the fight later.
Okay.
John King and I, we saw the fight later.
Okay,
so
okay.
The Swin didn't have the opportunity to view it yet.
Okay, so Giant King, then I'll pass that question on to you. As a fighter who's similar height to David Price, what did you think of the approach Price took on taking on Christian Hammer last night?
I think he didn't cut off the ring. He was following Hammer all over the ring. And his jab, he didn't work with his jab, because the opponent is way shorter than him. So he should have used his jab, used his advantage, and especially standing with your back against the ropes for a tall guy is very bad against a shorter fighter. You're putting yourself in harm's way. So there's a lot of mistakes he made, and his defense, his left hand is way too low. He should have kept it up much higher, because a shorter guy always throw over top short. So I just think he had a lot of mistakes.
Are you surprised that an Olympic medalist, I'm sure Price is an Olympic medalist or World Gold Championship medalist, are you surprised a guy like Price has looked so poorly in the professional ranks?
Yes, I think he should have learned by now to fix his mistakes, maybe after 2 or 3 rounds. Say, listen, this is not working. Maybe I have to change something. Or even his trainer should have told him, listen, what you're doing now, the first 3 rounds is not working. Let's do this. And he, all 7 rounds, he did the same thing every time. It was scored with the same shots. So, yeah, I think, I don't know, I think he should have learned by now. He's an experienced fighter. I think he should have fought better.
So, question I'm going to ask you is, the nature of fighters today that want to hop from trainer to trainer to trainer to trainer, why do you think that's the case in a fighter?
I don't think they trust each other. If there's no trust between them, that's why the guys go around. And my personal opinion, I think if you don't trust your trainer, rather get one that you can trust. Because you're in the ring, you're exposed to heavy shots coming your way. So you must know, if you go to your corner between rounds, you must trust that trainer of your life. Because you put your life into his hands, giving advice and all that stuff.
What would you think would have been the logic of someone like David Price getting rid of someone like Tommy Brooks, who's got so much experience, to go back to a less experienced coach in his amateur trainer, and then going with Dave Caldwell? What would have been the thinking behind that, Giant King?
I'm not sure. I don't really know his trainer, because I asked Bashir, who is his trainer at the moment, and because I don't know the trainer, so maybe they were friends before, or I'm not sure.
It was a Liverpool connection. I think Tony Bellew.
It's a convenience thing. It's a convenience thing. It's a comfort thing. Instead of, I mean, the best teacher is the teacher that makes you want to learn. The best teacher is the one that influences you to learn. The best teacher is the one that makes you accept constructive criticism. If a teacher comes to you and says that you're screwing up and you need to do this or you need to do that to be better. You need to do this, you need to do that to win. You're blowing it, kid. You're blowing it. You remember that, right?
Yep.
You're blowing it. You're blowing this fight. You're gonna lose this fight. He was losing it. He was losing the fight. But one simple word, you're blowing it. You're blowing it, kid. You got the title here in your hand and you're blowing it. And what happened? You see the results, right? Just the teacher that makes you want to learn is the one. The best teacher is the one that makes you want to learn. So a lot of fighters want to surround themselves with convenience, not with a conscience. You understand? Not with somebody that's their conscience. They want to surround themselves with people of convenience. I don't want to work today. I don't want to do this today. And then that kind of trainer says, okay, you're good. So a lot of times it's a convenient thing as opposed to learning something. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be nobody's yes man. Nobody's yes man. Either you listen to what I'm telling you, you listen to what my guidance is. If not, I'll shake your hand and say, have a nice day. I got to go. I don't have no time to waste. I don't like to involve myself in ignorance and stupidity, and embarrassing situations. And Price, at this time, is an embarrassing situation.
See, the other thing I would think is this. People say that we should forget about David Price. There's no hope in David Price. But there was that little barrage, the barrage that knocked Hamer down. You saw some class there. The uppercut, the way Hamer had him backed up against the ropes, and he knocked Hamer down. That little barrage of punches was class. So, and he showed a bit of desire there. But then it's the same old David Price all over again. Do you think with an experienced trainer, the Price could turn it all around? Let's ask Uncle Bashir first.
I think Price is damaged goods now. Not so much physically, but psychologically. He's in the Audley Harris syndrome now. And it's like being out to sea and you've been under the water a couple of times and you're coming back to the surface and you're struggling just to stay afloat. So I think that he's damaged goods now, and it's going to take something short of a miracle to bring him back to his formidable position in the heavyweight division.
So he'll need like Lazarus treatment, you think?
I think it's a foregone conclusion that it's over for him. I don't think that he can come back now.
But Uncle Bashir, there are guys.
There's too many young lions out there.
Yeah, but Uncle, for one point, there have been guys that have been knocked out badly in sparring and knocked out badly in fights and still come back and become world champions.
I just think that it's a foregone conclusion. I think that four times is just crazy. Four times is crazy. Four times is crazy.
But look, Frank Bruno got knocked out how many times? He still came back and became world heavyweight champ.
You all right?
That was my lights out there.
You good?
I had the David Price experience there. What was that? It all went dark for 1 second. It was all going okay, and then I got caught.
Our power. The little switches down there.
Right. I'm going to wrap this up in a second, so let me just finish this off.
I think that, as I said before, I just think that you can only go to the well so many times. This is his fourth time. I think that you can only go to the well so many times. I think that this is the end for David Price. I think the likelihood of him coming back, because you got more young lions out there. You know, Ryan Visser, where's he going to go? I mean, with young lions like this man out there, where's he going to go? And they are just, at the same time that Ryan Visser is coming along, it's got to be at least 100 other heavyweights around the world that's coming at the same age. You know, and they saw the fight too. They saw the fight, and they too are going to hone and say, I got his number. They saw the fight, so they're not going to let him live. These young lions are going to see it there and say, this guy's been knocked out 4 times. This is going to be the 5th time. He's done.
But what about the fact he's knocked down top-class fighters? He's knocked them down, and they've got up to beat him.
Yeah, but my thinking is, you knock a guy. Andre Ward got knocked down, but he got back up and won a disputed decision. You know, Kevin Howard knocked down Ray Leonard and got up and won. You know, the moral of what I'm saying is, the knockdown is not the fight. The fight is 10 rounds. The fight is 12 rounds. Getting knocked down the first, second, or third round, and you get up. That's not where everything lies, where the end results lie. The end results lie in just that, the end, going the distance. You know, I see this all the time. You know, you have guys that get beat up the first 2 rounds and then come back. Triple G and the welterweight kid.
Brooke.
Huh? Brooke. Oh, Brooke, he hurt Triple G, yeah. But what happened
Afterwards.
the end results? He got knocked out. So everything that you did then, you're just spinning your wheels. If you can't go the distance, if you can't capitalize on what you did, you're just spinning your wheels. Oh, he exposed Triple G. He did. He did. Excuse me. He did. He got knocked out. So he exposed Triple G. Okay. Triple G is still undefeated. He's got a string of knockouts. And what to say? It's been about 5 or 6 years that we've been speaking about Triple G.
Yep.
This person did that. This person was able to hit him. This person was able to run a combination. This person outboxed him for 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 rounds. But the end results was a KO. So
Okay.
it means nothing.
So it's the end of David Price. The price is wrong for you then.
David Price needs to get a job, you know.
He's a plumber, by the way, or electrician by trade. He's a Sparky.
Well, he needs to do that because he's going to get hurt. He doesn't have it, you know. He doesn't have it. And anybody that's in the sport, that has knowledge of the sport, can see that the man doesn't have it. Great fighters don't get knocked out 4 times. And same thing I told other fighters. You know, I told Perlette. Andre Perlette was 40-3 with 35 knockouts. But in the end, he got hurt twice. And I looked at his behavior when he got hurt. And I told him in the airport at the last time, I said, hey man, the boxing is not for you no more. Hang up your gloves and go away from boxing and do something else. You got a nice wife, You got nice children, and I want to see you 10 years from now and be able to communicate with you. I don't want your brains knocked out in the name of chasing this evasive world title.
Yeah.
And he got upset, but he called me 7 months later and thanked me. Thanked me. He said, thank you for telling me that it was time to pull out. 7 months later, he called me back. He said, thank you. And I'll do that for anybody. When you don't have it, you don't have it.
Okay.
You understand? When you don't have it, you don't have it. I couldn't see. My trainer told me one day, he said, go back and empty your lockout for one of these other kids that can do it. I'm saying, what are you talking about? He said, listen, you can't see. You can't see. So empty your lockout, give it to one of those kids that can see, that can do it. He said, you got to have a full bag of marbles to be in the game. You can't be in the game with 10 marbles. It takes a full bag. And I looked at it for what it was. I said, you know, he's right. He said, you're going to mess around, you're going to lose your eyesight, period. You're going to get your brains knocked out. He gave it to me raw. I never told a fighter you're going to get your brains knocked out, but I was saying it indirectly.
Yeah.
But he said, you know, when you don't have it, you don't have it.
Okay.
You stop the fight and you tell them, say, hey, listen, this is not working for you no more. Get out. Get out while you're ahead. Get out while you got sense. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know, I told a host of fighters over the years, you don't have it. And I'm looking at the sea of sharks saying, looking at the people that's out there and saying, it's not a good looking picture. So you got to move out because you're missing this or you're missing that. You understand? Boxing is like the components of the body. Gases, liquids, and solids. If you take away one component from the body, gases, liquids, or solids, the body dies. The body must have all three of the organisms working together. Constantly, a rotation, like an alternator in a car to recharge the battery. You gotta have all three of them. If you're missing, if one of them fail, the other two don't do you no good.
Okay. Now to close, thank you so much for that, Uncle. It's such great wisdom as always. To close, apart from the Giant King, who'll believe he's one of the best heavyweights in the world, who is the premier heavyweight in the world at the moment? Let's start with let me get your name again. Swin. Let's start with Swin.
Sue, S-O-O-N.
Swin. Let's start with Swin. Who's the best heavyweight in the world today?
I'm a big Klitschko fan, so for me, Klitschko.
Klitschko? Giant King?
I personally think it's between Klitschko and Anthony Joshua. I think Anthony Joshua is a good upcoming fighter. Big and strong, and he's a good example of a great heavyweight. But my favorite is Klitschko, so I'll go with Klitschko.
Uncle Bashir, I'm not even going to ask you that question because we know where you are. We know where you are. I know where you are already.
I think that this is a 50-50 fight, and the winner should be crowned the heavyweight champion, the best heavyweight in the world.
And also the 3-time heavyweight champion of the world as well.
Pardon me?
And you think the winner should also be crowned 3-time heavyweight champion of the world as well?
Well, a lot of people will be crowned 3 times. Anthony never lost it. He never lost it. So Larry has lost it, and now he's going to regain it. So he'll be 3-time heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, so you see where I'm going with this, right? You see where I'm going with this with Uncle Bashir. So,
Yeah, but leave that alone.
We love you, Uncle.
We got jokes.
Yeah.
We got. Just leave that alone.
We love you, Uncle. Okay, once again, we want to thank you all for giving us this live coverage here in South Africa, getting to meet the Giant King, his trainer, and obviously the hookup with Uncle Bashir. This is fabulous. I'm excited. I really am. We're excited.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to go see Mandela's cell.
Wow.
Where he spent Yeah, I'm going to go see Mandela's cell.
If there's some way you can get that on your Skype and you could get that so we could see that, that would be amazing.
I will definitely try. If we can find a way to do it, you got Skype? Yeah. Okay. When we get there, when we get to the cell, I'll broadcast it right back to you. I'll be glad to show everybody in the world.
That'd be amazing. We would love that.
Also, Swin and Ruin and Ruin's father, they're all going to get in the cage and go in the water where the sharks is, in the shark cage. I'm going to be on the boat filming it. I'm not getting in it. They're going to get in the cage, and they're going to submerge the cage underwater where the sharks is, and they're going to put big fish in there, big fish to make the sharks come close to the cage to eat. So I'm going to be on the boat because I'm not getting in the cage. I'm going to be on the boat and I'm going to film them. And then when you interview me, I'll be the guy saying, I told them not to get in the cage. I told them not to do that. They're gone now. But I'm here to tell you, you get an exclusive interview.
I told them, don't go in there.
I said, don't go in there, and they went in there anyway, and they got consumed by the sharks. All three of them are gone. Yes, it's all over.
That sharks will be very fat if they finish with us.
If you can overcome the sharks, you can overcome anything.
That's good.
Yeah, well, everything I do here in South Africa, I'm going to get back to you on it.
We really appreciate it. We want to get the whole... So I tell you what I would really...
But this young man is the story.
Yes, of course.
This man is the story, and it's a huge story.
Yes.
It's a huge story because this is a country where apartheid was so dominant for years.
Yes.
So very dominant for years. And now... here we are. We one big family. I'm living with Ruan and his father on their farm because it's too dangerous for me to live in the city. It's too dangerous. They get a wind of my accent and they feel that I would be threatened. It's a threat for me to live in the city. That's how bad that the crime is. Black on black crime, black on black racism. You understand? So what we're trying to do now, we're trying to bring a different picture to the world that a country that was so steeped in apartheid, this is post-apartheid, some 23 years later, we try to project the image that, no, people are just people, and family is just family, and that we can do things, we can build things, we can go ahead, we can strive, we can build everything together. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can get down together. At the end of the story, it's all nonsense because if you're missing a kidney, you have a weak kidney, and this man has the blood type, my blood type, I'm not going to turn down the opportunity to live if he's going to give me one of his kidneys. I'm going to take the kidney, and that's going to make us family. If I got to get another one, it's going to make us all family. So my goal is to help this man, guide this man, become the heavyweight champion of the world. And I think that if he can do that, then that would be one hell of a story. I think so.
Well, I'm even more excited. I tell you what I would really, what we would really love is just to see you and Ruan on the bags or just in the gym. Just even if it's snippets of you in the gym. Just seeing you together, just little snippets of that. I would love to see that in the gym with you guys working. If there's some way we can get maybe a live session, even if it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes of you guys doing your thing, that would be amazing. If we couldn't do that, footage.
The next time we go to the gym, we're going to try to set up a Skype the same way that me and Usyk did for you.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. We would love that.
And this is a team effort. The one thing I think that has blessed me with so much success in this profession. In the Quran, it says, after hardship comes ease.
Yes.
I went through a lot. I went through a lot of dirty, backstabbing, cutthroat stuff to get where I am in this sport now. And I remain humble. Nothing can take me from my perch as being a humble man. So this effort is not about me, like it is in other cases where others train. It's about this young man. But it's also a family story. You understand? Swin, all right? Ned, you know, everybody that's involved with us, we want to bring everybody to the light, everybody to the forefront. We want to come to the forefront as a family, as a team, and say, we did it. We brought this man with no amateur experience, we take him all the way to the heavyweight championship of the world. And that would make my heart fill with joy. You know, that would fill my heart with joy, I'm telling you.
I'm going to leave the last note with the Giant King himself. The final words are with you. Do you have any, are you on social media? Can people follow you on Twitter? Are you social media active or not?
Yes, I'm on Twitter, the Giant King, you'll find me there, and Facebook, Ron Visser.
Okay, and final words and everything we spoke about today, Uncle Bashir, Swin, what are your final thoughts on everything today? What have you got to say to the viewers and the fans of boxing and people now tuning in to know a little bit more about you? What's your final words to them?
I often say to all the guys, youngsters, that we go stay humble, because that will bring you to the top if you are humble.
You mean like Anthony Joshua humble?
Anthony Joshua is a great fighter and he's humble.
Okay.
But Klitschko is more humble.
Giant King?
Just work hard. If you want to go anywhere in life, you have to work hard for it. Then at the end, you will get everything that you put in. So I think work hard and you will go somewhere.
Fantastic. Finally, Uncle Bashir.
I think that spirituality is my forte, is my base. Being spiritual, understanding that when I see somebody going through something here in South Africa, in Ukraine, in Russia, Austria, Australia, New Zealand, with all of these countries that I've traveled, I've seen blight, and I've seen the plight of different people, and I've seen the struggle, and the struggle here is quite apparent, visibly apparent, you know, with people with no education, people with no hope, or people in despair. I think spirituality is a big part of my success, and I hope and pray that I maintain that spirituality to be the best that I can be and teach people and extend myself to other people and stay grounded. You know, don't become that big eye, you know?
Yeah.
Stay grounded, stay level-headed, and try to achieve as much as I can.
Thank you all so much. This has been Ingram Jones from Bayloric Worldwide Television. We're out. Thanks for watching. Thank you all once again. We appreciate you.
Out.
Take care.